Hello guys, and welcome back to another monthly comic book haul. Today we're going to be going through March comics. I already feel like March was a million years ago. I feel like it's already mid-April, so I'm freaking out. This year is going past so quickly. Okay, so my first pull week for March was March 1st. We have Superman issue number 18. Now this is tying in a lot with the Action Comics in this month as well, so I won't talk about it too much in this week because Action Comics for next week I want to talk about because there's so much to talk about in that. So I have Superman issue number 18, cry-worthy issue. Next we have America issue number 1. So you guys know that I don't pick up Marvel that often, but I saw this one and I thought, okay, I'm going to give it a try. I actually did quite like it, 5 out of 5. So it's definitely worth looking into if you're interested in picking up more female Marvel comics. Next we have Paper Girls issue number 12. This was getting a little boring, but I feel like it's picking up a bit more because they've kind of got onto the next arc. So I'm waiting around to see if this gets a lot better. I'm still going to always keep picking this up because it was one of my favorite series. So I am still holding on to it with much hope. Next we have Murder Girl issue number 4. I'm so glad I picked up this series. Like I really am. The first issue was not sure, but this has just gotten steadily better every single issue and it's not let me down. So I would highly suggest picking this one up. If you've only read the first issue, trust me, it gets so much better. Next up we have Extremity issue number 1. I freaking loved this so much. It was such a good read. Such a good issue number 1 book. Like, it was fantastic. Definitely I'll be highlighting this in my March favorite, so I will be doing that video very soon. Next we have The Once and Future Queen issue number 1. I didn't really like this book as much as I thought I would, so I don't think I'm going to pick up the second issue. For me it was just a little bit boring and I was expecting the story to be a little bit more different, and I'm picking up so many books right now, so I had to be very strict about it, so I've cut it out completely. Lastly for this week I have Brave Chef Brianna. This is such a cute story. I really love this one and I think I will be highlighting this in my March favorites as well. It's just a very fun and different kind of comic, so I really do suggest picking this one up and seeing how you feel. It's not going to go for very long. I mean, it's only 4 issues, but it is such a fun and happy read. Now the next week is for March 8th. First up we have Action Comics 975. Oh my god guys, like freaking hell. I was so excited to finally find the reveal of Clark Kent. Now I don't want to spoil anything. There will be highlights in the March favorites. Oh my god guys, it was not a coincidence that I decided to read Alan Moore's Whatever Happened to the Man Tomorrow, and then we find out what happened in this and I was like, wow, how could I have anticipated this so much? So I was very happy with that explanation. Obviously there's so much more we need to know about, but I'm so happy that they didn't cheap out and do something really lame, because I'm so happy for this villain to be around at the moment. It's just so exciting. So guys, grab Action Comics. Like, holy crap, you need to be reading this right now. Next up we have Supergirl issue number 7. I am so angry at this series because it is just not holding my attention, so I decided that's it, I'm dropping it on the next issue. And then I got to the end and freaking the person that we're going to see in the next issue I have to stick around for. Like, if you guys have read this, I don't want to spoil anything, but the last page I was like, I really hate you. I hate you guys so much that you've done this to me. So now I have to pick up the next issue and find the connection. I'm dying guys. Why is this not getting any better? I'm hoping that the next issue will reel me back in, but I was 100% expecting to drop this. So very good roping me in again. So Supergirl issue number 7. Next up we have New Superman issue number 9. This is still going strong. Absolutely love this. We have Wonder Woman issue number 18. Also still loving this. Next we have Murder Crash issue number, what are we on? Issue number 4. This series is great. So glad I picked it up. Next up we have Redline issue number 1. I really love sci-fi. Like, I absolutely love it. So when this was a series set on Mars, I was like, okay, oh my god, I'm gonna love this. Surprisingly, I did not like it. I gave it like I think about a 2 out of 5, and now thinking back about it, I can't even really remember what the story was about. So it wasn't very memorable for me. I just remember I didn't like the characters in it, the dialogue was messy, so I think I'm gonna give this one a miss. I just didn't feel like it was something I would continue reading, so it's a no for Redline. Next up we have another issue 1. This is Grass Kings. So this one again seemed like it had a very good premise and I was very excited about it. Post-apocalyptic sort of things. Well, it's not really post-apocalyptic, or it kind of could be. It's just, it's a very weird sort of layout. I didn't actually like it that much. I think it was mostly because I couldn't handle the art. The art was very over the top. It was very watercolor detailed to the point that I couldn't actually understand some of like what the characters look like or distinguish between the characters. The art is very beautiful if it was just like a one picture on a wall, but for me to continue reading this as a story, I don't think I could cope with. So I think I will be dropping Grass Kings. Next we have Charmed issue number 1. If you guys know me, you know I freaking love Charmed. I freaking love witches. So like when it came to Charmed book coming out, it was time to pick it up. I really did love this. I thought it was great, and reading more about the Charmed extended universe is fantastic. So if you're a fan of Charmed, definitely pick this one up. It makes me so nostalgic. It makes me literally want to marathon the series again. And lastly for this week is Doll Sudra. So this looked so beautiful. The art looked amazing. The story sounded great. Unfortunately, it's literally a beautiful mess. It is a beautiful mess. That is the best way I can describe it. It is not a book I will be continuing, so I'm dropping it. I feel like this was a very bad week for number 1s, just none of them really caught my attention. This actually has a lot of potential. It's all beautifully drawn, the characters are stunning. It's just all over the place. There's so much information, there's too many characters. It's just like a vomit of beautifulness. That's the best way I can describe it. Next week in my pull list is March 15th. First up, we have Super Sons issue number 2. This series is just great. It's fantastic. If you're not reading it, you should be. Seriously, you should be. If you're a Batman or Superman fan, this needs to be one of your pickups. I say it again and again, the dynamic between Damian and John is just amazing. I have never ever been so excited for a Robin or Superboy comic than I am for this one. We've got so much more in the Super family. I've got Superman issue number 19. By now I think it's pretty obvious who the villain was that I was talking about. Mr. Mixfiddle, I can never pronounce his name, Mixie. He's obviously the featured villain at the moment. Such a good story right now. I'm just loving it so much. I'm so glad that there's a really amazing ongoing Superman comic that I'm picking up. It's been so long. Next we have Trinity issue number 7. I'm happy to say that I've now dropped this. This was the issue that made me say, why am I still reading this? I was so bored. I mean, it had 2 of my favorite villains in it and I still could not be bothered. Goodbye Trinity. I've had enough. Next we have Odyssey of the Amazons, issue number 3. I'm really glad that I continued to pick this one up because these issues are just getting better and it's really up my alley. I love ancient Greek things. So I would suggest if you like Wonder Woman, want to know a little bit more about the backstory of the Amazons, this is definitely one to be picking up. If you also like Norse gods, this is also a good one to be picking up. Next we have the 2nd edition of Wildstorm. So many people have been ranting and raving about this and I'm just not sure about this series. I think I obviously have to give it a few more issues before I can really get into it. At the moment, I'm just like, meh, like I can do without it, but I mean, the story is interesting enough for me to continue on, so I will continue picking these ones up and seeing how it goes. I just want to make a note of how much does the main character's suit look like Predator? Like so much, like oh my god, I was like, this is literally Predator in a mecha suit. Next we have Venom issue number 5. We had Eddie Brock come in. So this was such a great issue. I cannot wait to see what the next issue brings because I said Eddie Brock is my favorite as Venom. So very interested to see how this pans out. Next we have Cinderella, Serial Killer Princess, issue number 3. I am so pleasantly surprised that this is just such a weird comic, but it's just so much fun. It's really a lot of fun, and I would suggest that if you haven't read a lot of Zenoscope before or you haven't read any Grimm fairy tales, it's kind of a good one to just jump into because you kind of know all the characters, obviously from fairy tales. I would relate this to, it's very similar to Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe. I just have to say, it is basically that, but in the Zenoscope Grimm Fairy Tales world, and Cinderella is basically Deadpool in this comic. Lastly for that week we have Death Be Damned issue number 2. So this only has 4 issues, so it's something that you can probably pick up in trade. It's a very weird series, but I kind of like it. I think that's the best way I can put it. It's got me hooked. It's got a very good hook that you want to know more about. That's all I'm gonna say, but I still find this series very intriguing, very mysterious. So okay, the next week we have in my pull list is March 22nd. Firstly, in the Supes family we have Action Comics 976. This was basically the close of the whole Superman Reborn Mixie storyline. I really loved the arc. I really did, and I loved that it spanned over Superman and Action Comics. They included both. It was really fun. I just really liked it. I really liked the whole idea of it, and the explanation really fit in with the whole New 52 tie-in and this Superman. It was just good. It was very good writing and very good characters. Actually, not much in the Superman family this week. We have a Batgirl, issue number 9. I am really liking this arc at the moment, the whole Son of Penguin. A lot of people aren't really liking the whole technology thing, but I feel like I do. It's so very Barbara, so very now. So I feel like it's really good intertwining into today's society with like technology. It works perfectly, especially for younger readers that have just grown up in technology, which to be honest is kind of me, so I don't know what I'm talking about. But I'm really liking where this series is going at the moment, and the art in this is really incredible. I'm just finding it all very, very attractive. So I'm so happy with Batgirl right now. Next we have Wonder Woman issue number 19. This series is just, it's very steady at the moment, which I like. I like it when things are steady. Next up, we have Curse Words, issue number 3. This is such a good series. Like, every time I pick this up, I am just so excited to read it. It's almost like the first one of the week that I want to read. It's just, it's so good, and I absolutely love it. Next we have Gem and the Misfits, or is it Gem the Misfits? I'm not sure exactly the main title. This is issue number 3. So at the moment, we're kind of focusing on each member of the Misfits, which is kind of cool because the first issue they just threw everyone together and we were just like, wow, okay. Like, if you haven't read any of Gem or Misfits or know any of the characters, you'll be like, WTF. Next issue I picked up is Helena Crash, issue number 1. This is so weirdly drawn. Like, it's a very weird drawing style, and I'm not quite sure if I like it or not. The storyline has me hooked. The art does not. So I'm going to give it a few more issues before I decide to drop it. Okay, so my last pickups for that particular week was very Judge Dredd heavy. So that week they released Judge Dredd Deviations, which was by John McCree, and basically an offshoot from an original story which was done like a million years ago, which was Judge Dredd Cry of the Werewolf by John Wagner. So they also had a reprinted version of that, which I picked up, Cry of the Werewolf. This was such a good story. I had not read this one before, so when I saw they were creating like an offshoot from this particular book, the original, I was like, I have to pick up both of them. So basically he got the original story and created a alternate ending, and this is what this book is about. So if they're still around at your comic book store, guys, 100% get them. I know a lot of you have probably already read Cry of the Werewolf, but do you own it? And the last week, which was a very light week, thank God, because that literally took me a million years to get through them, like a million years. So the last week I think was March 29th, and I picked up Batgirl Supergirl, which was an annual issue. I mean, how could I not get this? It was Batgirl and Supergirl, they're my favorite girls of all time. So I did really enjoy this issue. I wish there was a little bit more Supergirl, but it was more of a Batgirl annual, so of course it was going to be more about her. Next I picked up Heathen, issue number 2, which is basically a series about like the Norse gods, and it's set back in ancient time. This is a really good issue, really good series so far, so I'm really looking forward to seeing where they take it. Now, because this week was slightly lacking in DC Comics and Marvel Comics and other comics that I was picking up, I decided I would try and get Lady Castle issue number 1. So I missed out on this one because I think ran out of the issue or something at my comic book store, so I couldn't get it back when it came out. So I picked up issue number 1, and I'm so glad that I did. I mean, Boom Studios at the moment is just creating some really good comics. I'm just literally almost picking up every single book that they're putting out. I'm really enjoying everything. I like that they're actually small series, so they're not massive ongoing ones that you have to create a big commitment to. And then that week, Lady Castle issue number 2 came out, so I could just pick that up straight away and get it. And I have to say, the series is pretty good. It's fun. They create very fun, light-hearted series, but they still rope you into that world. So that is it for all my pickups for March. I do have a few other things I want to show you guys because I have collected a lot of things throughout the past month. So DC Comics was so cute in sending me this little DC verified fan certificate thing, and I'm very happy to be a DC verified fan. If you guys don't know, or you've just recently joined my channel, I do create some videos for DC Comics over on the DC Fans channel. And at the moment I'm currently reviewing Shade the Changing Girl, which is part of the DC Young Animals book club. So over the past month, DC have sent me a few different things, and I also want to include this in my haul. So because I am reviewing Shade in the DC Young Animals book club, they send me a lot of DC Young Animals things. So I have a cute poster which has all the different books and characters on there from Young Animal, which is very cool. They also have a few different issues here. So what have I got? I've got Shade the Changing Girl issue number 6, which I have reviewed over on the DC Fans channel. I have Mother Panic issue number 4, Mother Panic issue number 5, Doom Patrol issue number 5, Cave Carson has a cybernetic eye issue number 6. They also awesomely sent me 2 trades. 2 trades! One is Wonder Woman, so this is the first trade of the DC Rebirth. I also got sent the first trade of Green Lantern, which is really cool because I've not been reading any of the Green Lantern. I'm not a fan of Green Lantern, and I know now that they have kind of changed Green Lantern at the moment, so there's like 2 of them, and so I'm feeling like maybe I should be reading it. So this is actually really great. I will be able to read this trade and kind of catch up and see if it's a series that I want to be collecting or not. So that is all the stuff I got from DC Comics. And I have 3 more things to show you guys because I cannot keep it inside, I must share. So I have actually already posted these things on my Instagram, but I wanted to treat myself this last month. It's April now. It was March that I bought these. So I got a really awesome Superman picture or canvas. Oh my god, it's so cool. It was, look, $15 down to $6. How could I not get it? It's amazing. So this is something that I bought. After I bought that, I literally went on a canvas spending spree. And if you live in Australia, you may know of a really cool shop called Zing Pop Culture, I think it's called. Well, it's called Zing. It's basically an offshoot of EB Games, which is a video game shop. But they literally sell just the most amazing pop culture things. Like, it is such a cool shop. I literally would live in there if I could. So I have seen this canvas like there all the time, and I always think about it, and I thought, you know what, today I bought that canvas, I'm gonna get another one. So I bought a Supergirl bombshell canvas. How cool is this? Actually, how cool is this? So happy. And then to make matters worse, I was like, well, Supergirl needs a friend. So I got her Batgirl. So this is a Batgirl bombshell canvas, which I also bought from Zing. So there you go. So guys, that is it for my massive, I feel like that was probably the biggest comic book haul I've ever done in my life. That was March. That was March. I don't know where March went, but that was just a vomit of what happened in March. I always love to hear what you guys are picking up, what you think of the comics coming out every week. Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much guys for watching, and I will see you very, very soon. Goodbye.